According to Jordan Bianchi, it is official. Martin Truex Jr. is going to announce his retirement, so let's get into it. Coming up next. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. All right, according to Jordan Bianchi, looks like Martin Truex Jr. is going to retire. Let's see what he had to say. News. Martin Truex Jr. expected to make retirement announcement on Friday, sources tell The Athletic. According to NASCAR Prophecy, it looks like Martin Truex Jr. will announce his retirement on Friday at 4 p.m. It's time for him to do some saltwater fishing off the Jersey Shore with his new boat. So two pretty reliable sources right there. We'll just have to wait for the announcement, the official announcement on Friday at 4 p.m., I guess. But I'm just going to go off their information and assume that it is accurate because normally it is. And if that is the case, then the 2017 NASCAR champion, the 2018 ESPY for the best driver, named one of NASCAR's greatest drivers of all time, the 75 greatest drivers of all time. Not only that, but not to mention that 2017 championship, that came with a single car team. That might be the last time, at least for a good long while, depending on how all this stuff plays out, charter and stuff like that, or maybe the last time ever we see a single car team win a championship at the Cup level. But not only that, he is the 2017 and 2023 regular series Cup champion, which is a stat that I feel like gets overlooked a lot. And just a weird stat to have to bring out nowadays. I'm just so used to the old point system. There's one champion, but now we have a regular season champion, a playoff champion. I'm not going to get derailed on that whole conversation, but from going forward, we will have to start, saying regular season champion because some guys are going to have a lot of regular season championships as well. 04 and 05 Busch Series champion, and he has a couple of crown jewels in his hat as well, the Coke 600 and the Darlington Southern 500. So definitely going to be a first, in my opinion, definitely going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer when he hangs them up. If it's this year, if it's next year, like I said, I'm just going off what they're saying, but I'm assuming it is correct and that tomorrow it will be official, Martin Truex Jr. announcing his retirement. 34 career wins for Martin Truex Jr., most of those coming late in his career, a career that started in 2004 at Atlanta and extended the 20 years and more because he's still got the rest of this season to finish it. So a lot of people that are Martin Truex fans, Jr. fans, have never seen NASCAR without Martin Truex Jr., right? If you're under 20 years of age, you've never known NASCAR without Martin Truex Jr., and he joins a list of drivers that have recently either retired or semi-retired. The likes of Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Jimmy Johnson, all either retired or semi-retired. Most of those being the old 2004 was the Young Guns. Martin Truex Jr. never a Young Gun, the Gillette Young Guns, but same year he came into the sport, 2004. So all the 2004 Young Guns, most of them are pretty much gone and out of the sport. I think Denny Hamlin is the last remaining driver that was in that Young Guns lineup. Speaking of Denny Hamlin, he now becomes the veteran not only at Joe Gibbs Racing, but the veteran overall in the sport. He'll be the oldest driver next year as well, which basically brings up the next question. Who goes in the 19, and will the 19 stay the 19, or will they switch it over to the 18? So let's go first to the 18 question. Ty Gibbs seems like he would be a natural fit for the 18, so do they keep the 54 or do they keep the 19? I'm going to say Ty Gibbs probably, if I'm him, keeps the 54 because he's running that number to honor his dad. So Ty Gibbs, as much as he loves the 18, probably is going to keep the 54 for the foreseeable future. So that means will they change the 18 change the 19 to the 18? I'm thinking, yeah, because they've got so much more history with the 18 than the 19. I'm thinking you just let the 19 go, right? Maybe. So maybe the 19 goes away and they bring the 18 back because you can only put a number on ice for so long before you lose the rights to it as far as NASCAR's deal goes. So I'm thinking the 18 comes back next season. Now let's get on to the question of who drives that 18 next season. And on that list, you would have to think maybe Toyota looks at people in their young driver development program, right? That's what you have a young driver development program for. And as far as commercials go, you always see one guy on all the commercials. You see the one guy that is always mentioned whenever a Toyota seat opens up, and that driver is Corey Heim of the Truck Series. Has made some Xfinity Series starts as well, but came awful close to winning that Truck Series championship last year. So he would have to be the first one on the list just from all the press and all the things that go on with Corey Heim, Toyota, and all that. he would have to be one of your leading candidates, especially if Joe Gibbs wants to get young. I feel like that's part of the reason that they brought Ty Gibbs in there. Yes, he's Joe Gibbs' grandson, but also he's young, and I think Joe Gibbs looked at what Hendrick did. They brought in a bunch of young drivers and just bit the bullet a few years ago to let those young drivers develop, and sort of rode that out. So I think Joe Gibbs maybe looked at that and said, maybe we need to do the same thing over here. So if they go the young driver route, the obvious first choice, if they go young, would have to be Corey Heim, in my opinion. The question, of course, with Corey Heim is, does he bring sponsorship? Can they get sponsorship to fill the void of Bass Pro Shops? Does Bass Pro Shops stay? That is a question. So if we're on the Bass Pro Shops deal and you want to go young, there's another driver you can look at. That driver, of course, being Noah Gragson. You bring Noah Gragson in there, you can even keep the car number 19, and you probably will also keep Bass Pro Shops. It seems like Bass Pro Shops very happy with Noah Gragson and what he brings to the table sponsorship-wise. So if Noah Gragson goes over there, you get to keep the sponsorship and you still stay young. So that still accomplishes both of those tasks if they believe in the talent of Noah Gragson. Another driver that has certainly been mentioned and in the mix and still would be young, he's younger. He would be the second youngest driver if you bring him over there because he's younger than Christopher Bell and he's younger than Denny Hamlin and he's driven for you before. That would be Erik Jones. Erik Jones has been mentioned multiple times in this. He might have a contract. I'm not sure of his contract status with the Petties over there, but even if he has a contract, you would imagine they would buy out whatever remains on it and he could come back over to Joe Gibbs Racing and drive, the 19 or the 18, whatever it may be. And he has, not necessarily the greatest sponsorship situation like Noah Gragson may have, but he's already in your Toyota system. You know what you've got there. Toyota didn't really want to get rid of him when Christopher Bell came over to the Gibbs ride, but they had to make a tough decision in that situation. And they obviously wanted him back or Toyota at least wanted him back because, they struck that deal with Legacy, and I feel like Erik Jones was a big part of that. So does he get the opportunity to move back over there? Can they find the sponsorship? Once again, sponsorship would probably be an issue with that deal as well. And then finally, the darling of silly season, the name that comes up whenever a ride is open, ever since Stewart-Haas announced that it is selling its charters, one of which has already been picked up by Front Row, apparently. The other name that you have to throw in here is Chase Briscoe. Everybody seems to want Chase Briscoe. He seems to be the hottest commodity in the Cup Series right now as far as free agents go. So Chase Briscoe comes over there. He probably brings Mahindra Tractors and some other sponsors with him. He seems to have a really good relationship with the sponsors that are with him right now. So you would imagine he would at least bring some sponsorship. And, Joe Gibbs Racing could probably hopefully find some other sponsorship for him as he comes over there. You've seen the Yahoo and Interstate Batteries deal. They sort of move around on different car to car. So some sponsorship is already going to be there. But Chase Briscoe, the name that is just on everybody's, he's driving for the Wood Brothers. He's driving for Joe Gibbs Racing now. 2311 wants him. Every time an opening comes up, Chase Briscoe is the driver that they want. And look, he's made the playoffs before. He's in the playoff hunt right now. He has been statistically the best car at Stewart-Haas Racing this season if you just look at the point standings and where the drivers are at. So he would be the hottest commodity of those Stewart-Haas Racing drivers, you would imagine. So maybe Chase Briscoe goes over there to the 19. Either way, huge silly season bombshell drop today. And it's kind of crazy that we're talking about silly season, but also I wanted to honor the career that is Martin Truex Jr., and we've got the rest of the season to do that. So yeah, just who knows if it's actually true or not, but I'm leaning toward it probably is true. But yeah, that's all I got for you on this one. So much news keeps dropping today. I guess the other episodes are going to have to come out tomorrow because I feel like this is going to be the main story for today. So I guess the other episodes, I did film some other episodes. They'll come out tomorrow, but yeah. Martin Truex Jr. looks like he's going to be hanging them up, and that's just, that's crazy to me. That's all I got for you on this one. If you made it this far, would love to have your subscription if it's your first time. If not, I'll keep making these things. If you're already subscribed, I appreciate you all as well. If you got a question, comment, or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section. I try to get to as many of them as I can. If you want to help out the channel, the merch store link is in the description. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.